Now, starting with a good advertisement is so much easier said than done. I feel like I'm always in an argument with people that their job description is different than their job advertisement, right? So number one, just stop going to these job boards and putting up your job description. That's a different document. And if you think about what an advertisement is, it's not the same. You would never roll out your customer terms and conditions in your contract in a newspaper or mobile ad for your customers, right? Or your business dev people would never do that. It'd be crazy. You would never tell a customer, hey, I'm Neal with Neal's Landscaping. If you don't pay us on time, we're going to charge you extra. And if you don't respond quick enough, then we're going to delay your project. Depending on the weather, we may or may not honor the brand promises we have. We never say that, but we say it on the contract. What do we say in the advertisement? We say we're going to provide the best value at the best price, right? And that's one thing that's really important. Let's focus on the employee value rather than the employee price or the benefits. Let's talk about what we're going to give them, why it's so much more valuable, even if we're not the highest paying. Let's match the tone of customer advertisements. And let's discuss the mission and vision of the company. Why would someone want to work in landscaping? Why? Well, maybe because places like the Harvard School of Public Health show that when you spend more time in the natural environment, you have better health outcomes. You're more likely to live longer and have less illness than when you're outside in the natural environment. The tone of a customer advertisement is going to be basically what would a customer want to hear on them, right? So a customer wants to hear, hey, here's why we're going to be able to help you, not here's how much we're going to charge. Hey, here's the solution we're going to solve. So for a customer, it's going to be, do you want to spend more time in the natural environment with your family? Do you want to enjoy the outdoors? We can help you. For an employee, that tone would be, do you want to help people enjoy the natural environment? Do you want to achieve a personal dream? Do you want to get to a level of success in your career? We'll develop you for that, right? It's optimistic, it's forward focused, it's not based in details. The mission and vision of your company may be that you're preserving the environment. Like what we do every day in the green industry, when done right, is a sustainable practice. That is huge. And if you look at some of the best irrigation companies, they're not talking about green lawns, they're talking about saving water, one of our most precious resources. If you look at some of the best tree companies, they're not talking about chopping down trees. They're talking about sustainability for the planet. Or maybe your mission and purpose as a company isn't that. Maybe like me, you're not really a plant person, or you're trying to attract not necessarily plant people. And one of the best things that you can do, and one of the reasons I love the green industry so much, is because we're able to provide jobs to people who made poor mistakes in their past or didn't have some of the same benefits that some of us had. Maybe they're uneducated. Maybe they fell in with a rough crowd. Maybe they got a dumb visible tattoo that's stopping them from working elsewhere, but we can hire them in the green industry. That's huge. Let's talk about that. And I would discuss the opportunity. When I was hiring snow shovelers to work for me at $15 an hour, which was not a lot of money, and my competition was paying $20 and $25 an hour, one of the things that would happen if they were interested in signing up is I would give them a tour and they would talk to someone who was in a full-time position, dressed up professional, but started in their role. And they would hear a story about how someone was given an opportunity to learn and grow into something. And that guy would say, listen, this isn't for everybody. There's hundreds of people who come through this role, and not all of them end up in this. But this is a company that cares enough to help you get there if you want. And I'm going to show you a job description that I did recently for a landscape estimator in a couple minutes. And you'll see how much about the opportunity we talk about. In fact, if you wanted me to help you hire somebody, which is a service that we provide, one of the questions that I'm going to ask you is, what's the professional development budget for this person? And most companies have never thought about that. They say we go to trade shows or we'll pay for this, but I want a number and I want to advertise that. And by the way, I think that number should be about 10% of annual pay. The other thing, though, in job ads that I always talk about is what we call CSR initiatives. So CSR stands for corporate social responsibility. And that is anything that your business does besides exist to make money. So it could be to benefit the environment. It could be a charity that you're involved with. It could be something in the community or diversity or inclusion benefit. And if you talk about your CSR initiatives, you'll get an 11% response in your job ad. Do you know how much money you have to increase your pay to get an 11% response? It's about 30%. So if you're trying to hire someone for 20 bucks an hour, you can either talk about your CSR initiatives or you can raise that rate to about $27 and then you'll have equal benefit in terms of response. So I would really hammer on CSR. And the reason why all of these things are so important is because when researchers ask people what attracts you to a job, they do not say pay and benefits. Well, they say pay, but pay is ranked number 8. The most important things when someone